Let's look at the icon toolbar called Scope. The purpose of this functionality is to enable or disable different objects by clicking on a single command. First is lines and curves. Then I've got text. I can enable, disable hatches, dimensions, construction lines and construction circles, pictures and opaques, blocks and reference symbols. Next I've got my points, and lastly I've got my 3D objects I can enable or disable. Let's demonstrate this by an example. First, let's look at the functionality. When I select it, the little sphere turns red. That means it's disabled. When I select it again, it turns green. So when I select them, it toggles between red and green, which is disabled and enabled. Now let's see how this will enhance our drawing capability. Let's zoom out a bit and let's see how it works. When I select it, it turns red, which is disabled, and you can see the lines and the curves have been disabled. When I toggle it again or select it again, it enables and the lines and curves are displayed on my drawing. Let's zoom closer. Let's do the same exercise with text. If I select it, it disables. Can you see the text has been switched off or disabled on my screen? If I toggle it back on, it is there again. A very powerful tool if I've got, for instance, a very busy drawing and I need to switch off all the dimensions. I can do this with a click of a single button. Next we will look at the standard icon toolbar. It consists of a number of drop-down list boxes. The first one being my active layer. When I select the drop-down, I can see a list of all the layers, and you can see they are not listed numerically. How do I do that? I right click in the list and I can select sort by creation, sort by name and sort by index. I'm going to select sort by index. When I select it, they are neatly sorted from Next I have my active pen. When I select the drop down list box, there's the list of all my pens, and I can scroll down to show you how many pens there are, 255, and there's by layer. So if I need to work with color by layer, that's where we'll set it. Let's go back, and if I need to change it to pen 2, I just select it and I work with it. Whatever I draw now will be in pen 2. Let's set it back to pen 1. Let's change the line style. The next one, drop down list box, there are all the line styles. There's my line style by layer. I can go right to the bottom to show you how many there are. Let's go back up. If I want to work with line style number 2, select it, and whatever I draw now will be in that line style. Let's go back to continuous. Very simple to set. Let's look at line thicknessing. Here I can actually force different line thicknesses to my screen. Select the drop down list and there set first option is default. This is where I will set it in my layer setup for each layer. If I want to do it individually, this is the list I will select it from. This works in conjunction with the option right at the bottom of the screen, where I can toggle or switch or disable and enable line thicknessing. When it is displayed as thicker lines, it will enable the thicknessing on my screen. The opposite also applies. Let's see this in practice. Let's get a better zoom. When I select the thicknessing at the bottom of the screen, you will notice the thicknessing of the lines. Select it again, and the line thicknessing is disabled. The final icon toolbar is the lines icon toolbar. This one will be covered when we do the left menu. This concludes our presentation on the top menu.